How we doing? I was proud of the guys. You know, it didn't start real pretty, but we finished strong. You know, we got ourselves back in that game. The guys really fought hard, and to see that group, you know, just the way they've adjusted and really doing things the way that we do things around here, and continuing to grow and come away with a W. You know, I was really proud of those guys. I told them in the locker room, you know, you wish you'd keep everybody, but that's not the way it works. And they have mine and this coaching staff, Brad's respect. I mean, for everything they've done, you know, man, I respect the hell out of them, and we appreciate it very much. Put themselves out there and throw their bodies to the, you know. But, you know, inevitably we will keep some guys, and then there'll be some guys that make our practice squad. And it may not taste good at first if you're one of them, but we're looking for the 69 best players we can find, and we're going to need all of them, and they will play for us, whoever those guys are. And so that is important to us. So anyway, I'm proud of them, and now this is a tough time that's coming up next 48 hours here. So questions?
Standards, Dan, I'm sure your expectations have changed. How do you do or handle the evaluation in a game like this where Pittsburgh comes out, plays most of their starters, you've got your backups that don't, you know, maybe have that same kind of chemistry or collective talent level?
Yeah.
How do you evaluate that first part of it where everybody kind of struggled collectively versus, you know, the turnaround you experienced starting there at the end of the first half?
Well, you know, look, the first part of that will be, like, for example, their offense is out there, and you watch that O-line. I mean, to watch the D-line, that's really the beginning of that starts there, and you get really, really good evaluation there. So you're going to see some guys. I mean, ultimately, how did they hold up versus their guard and their center? Did they get reached? Did they? So you're going to be able to see it right up front, you know. And then you've got some 14s out there, you know, and he's making a play. He's a pretty good receiver, as we know, and so you take it for what it is. But I think the good news is you get to see them against their ones. And then now you get to see it once those guys are out. Now, how did they perform, you know, with the next wave that came in against them? So I really think it always benefits you to be able to see better talent, you know, see your guys go against better talent. That's always going to help. So, but we got some really good looks on guys today, a number of guys. And I thought a number of guys really continued to grow and improved even from last week, is what we were looking for, you know. So I won't know entirely till I watch the tape, but certainly a lot of guys, you know, stood out, man. I thought Ukwu showed up again, man. It was a critical turnover. Chris Smith comes away with the recovery on that. You know, Houston had a couple of rushes. He's been out. You know, it was good to see him there. You know, listen, those backers just came in the summer, and those guys bowl plan, they just came in a week ago, you know, and they're out there busting their rear. Man, I thought they did some good things. That whole secondary, you know, we just went out there and competed. So it was good to see. Offensively, Hooker, man, ups and downs, but ultimately he got better today, you know, and he needed that. Fromm, man, I like Fromm. Kid can play a little ball, you know. There's something about him, like he understands, you know, where his answers are at, what to do with the football. You know, I thought 83 showed up again. You know, Mo made a couple of plays. The old line, you know, we talked about it, but ultimately, I thought there was growth. I thought Manu grew. I thought that whole line got a little bit better once we got out of the first quarter there. So, anyway, just a number of guys that did some really good things.
Coach, can you speak a little more about him? I mean, this preseason, he had a concussion.
Yep.
He had to bounce back last game and come from behind victory. This game, obviously, you started to put him in different adverse situations. What does that do for a young quarterback early on, having to kind of, you know, go through the things he's experienced, you know, throughout this offseason?
Well, look, I think you can almost say this for any position, but especially his. The faster he understands that nobody cares. You know, when you play that position, nobody cares, man. You are, you know, you're going to get thrown to the wolves, and all eyes are on you. And the faster you understand, man, you just do your job. You worry about one play at a time, and just keeping the ship afloat. You got to be the steady, calm piece in there that everybody can look to and say, all right, you're about to give us the answer. And And so the faster you figure that out in that position, the better off you are. And I've seen, to me, man, he's beginning to show some signs of this. Like I go back to, I feel like I learned more about him from the failures than I do watching him throw. Oh, that was a good throw. That was good to see. Like some of these, like today, man, you have 5 sacks, all right? He gets sacked 5 times. Some of it is own doing, and some of it the O-line, some of it receiver's not open. But the point is, you get sacked 5 times, and then all of a sudden you bounce back, and he doesn't look frazzled. He doesn't look under duress. He looks pretty calm. He looks steady. He moves us down the field. Like, that's encouraging. That's how you grow, and he did that for the rest of the game. So at the end of the day, when you just step back and look at the performance, you're like, you know what, he got better, and that's what it's about.
How do you view his running? Is that like the right amount of running when he ran, when he had to? Would you rather it not be that often?
No, he should have run one more time. I told him, one more time this game, and you get a winning performance. One let, look, you can't tell him.
No, I know.
You can't tell him, but look, I would say this. Here's when you're looking at it. You want to know that he's trying to play the quarterback position first before he uses his legs. And I did feel that. I thought he progressed. I thought he started. I thought he progressed. And then he took off. I didn't feel happy feet, like, oh, God. And I'm not even I haven't even got to my second progression, and I'm terrified, and I'm just going to take off running. I did not feel that. I felt a quarterback trying to play quarterback until it was time to go, clock in his head. And that's what you want. And I did feel like he did that. So, today, I felt like it happened probably the right time, right amount. It felt natural, It was good.
Dan, you mentioned Houston. We saw the sack, really classic James Houston, quick move. He tried moving him to Sam. It didn't really work out.
Yeah.
He's got a really, really good one trick, if that's his one trick.
Mm-hmm.
How do you evaluate that? I mean, when guys does one thing exceptionally well, but maybe doesn't offer you a whole lot elsewhere. How does that play into an overall evaluation?
Yeah, and it's a good question because we really didn't have him a lot of camp. He was hurt. So we didn't get to see him at Kansas City this week, and so he's probably had maybe half of training camp, if that, somewhere in there. And so you still have to go off the totality of what it is. We understand he's a year 3 player. That we have to take the body of work that has taken place in practice against our very good tackles. We got 2 of the best tackles in the league, and that he has to go against. And you take those, and then you take a little bit of what you saw today. Okay, well, what does the health look like? Can he still move? Is it? But I think, look, that's going to be a hard decision for Brad and myself. It is, one way or another. Because that's kind of what you're asking. Is it enough? I don't, and it's hard to say that right now. I mean, this will be a lot of things that we hash out between the 2 of us, the coaching staff, all of it. Like we got to make sure we're seeing it clearly.
You get better the preseason where the stadium's still filled.
Listen, unbelievable.
Get the penalty.
Unbelievable. Our fans this was crazy. We came out, I told our players before we came out, and I said, man, do you understand this is the best environment you're gonna find in a preseason game for sure. And we're not even to the regular season yet, guys. So you talk about home field advantage. You can only imagine what this is gonna be like in 2 weeks from now on Sunday night. Like this is the best. Like our fans are the best, and that's why we just got to keep doing our job. We got to keep winning and give them something to cheer about because they're going to do their part. That was amazing. I mean, it really was.
One more guy. Jake Fromm, just how important was it to give him those payment for those 2 weeks? Let him play out there, not just play, but let him throw it around and show what he can do.
Yeah, listen. I think you really want to give a guy an opportunity if you can. Let's start there. I mean, but then, to be able to get a look at him, I think I just bring this up from, you guys know when we did, it comes after the concussion. He was really just, hey, as needed. We don't know if Hooker will be back, but he's really insurance. If you have to have a guy come and give handoffs, and I mean, this guy's learned the offense like, I mean, he's on it, and we don't have an easy offense to learn. I mean, it's not, especially at that position, the quarterback position. So to watch him come in, and I mean, we went through 2 minutes yesterday and put him in at the end, and I mean, he didn't miss a beat, you know. And so that when you see that, you know, you can't help but root for a guy like that, even as a coach. Like, man, let's give this guy an opportunity. So. It's encouraging. It's good to see, and I know this. He's got my antenna up. I mean, I see him. So, you know, what does that mean? I don't know quite yet, but I know this. He's intriguing, man. He's got a little football player in him.
Yeah, judging by your excitement of just the crowd today, just the environment of being back here.
Mm-hmm.
We watched your guys trot out the starters, and then your regular season starters came out in street clothes. Just what is your level of excitement, anticipation to be back here in 2 weeks and see those guys back in uniform?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm ready. You know, it's time. And I know we got 2 weeks, but it's time. And you know, just watching those guys come back in the locker room as they were coming back upstairs right before we broke out. You know, you can see it in their eyes, like they know. And they understand what they're getting ready to walk into with our fans and our crowd, and the type of game and opponent we're getting ready to face. So they feel it like I do, and they know it's on us now, and it's time to go. You know, enough of all the prep work and getting ready and the spring and training camp, and man, it's here. And really, the next thing that we do will be preparing for the Rams for the most part.
When you see a guy like Ty Summers, who obviously has an even shorter body of work but was so explosive today,
yeah.
Do you take into account his experience around the league, what that could bring on a P squad if it's worth that spot?
Yeah, listen, we tell anybody that comes in this building that, man, our eyes are on you. We do see you. We will. You know, we will evaluate, we will coach you, we will, and so, I mean, he's another guy that, man, he flies around, he's a pretty good athlete, he's pretty smart, you know, and so, yeah, I mean, it's, inevitably, you're going to go through this and you'll be like, all right, who's on the roster, you know, what do we think? And ultimately it comes down to Brad and myself, but also practice squad, man. Do we really think this guy can help us down the road? Is this somebody we can invest in and is going to help us if we need him? You know, we lose a couple guys to injuries. Can this guy step in and do a job, play special teams, whatever it is? And so he's another guy that is impressed us coming in. So's Beauplan. I mean, like I say, he just walked in and, you know, Guidry and Bassey, they just walked in and we're doing, hell, we just got Wild Goose like 2 days ago, you know, and he's out there. I'm telling him, hey, gee, can we blitz him off the edge? I know we don't have corner cap, but man, let's throw it in there. I mean, just so I want to see his dance. I mean, you get a name Wild Goose. But, you know, he was out there competing, man. He just walked in the door. So you want it for those guys, and you appreciate their level of detail and work that they put into it.
That's what I know. They said the miss from 30 today. How much do you see that factoring into to make their coming days?
Yeah, I'll say what I said a couple of weeks ago. Nothing has changed there. He's a young, talented player that needs growth and is growing right in front of us. And there's going to be some growing pains that are going to come with that, and I understand that. And I don't want to get frustrated by it. And you know, he came back. He made the one later after that was good to see. And I think part of it is, you know, putting him in positions to have success, you know, helping him as well. No different than you help your offense, defense, special teams, quarterback, you know, safeties, DNs, tackles, whatever it is, you want to help him if you can too. So he's talented. I think he's wired right, and there's going to be some of this that comes with it.
Really quickly before you go, just
What's that?
You want to keep Fox off kickoff?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now we would. We know we can. We actually wanted to get him a couple of today, you know, but probably right now we would.
really quickly, a couple of guys with injuries in the last practice, Sewell and Craig, but also if he's missed a few, I'm just wondering if you have an update on those three guys.
On who was the last one?
Iffy.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, Sewell and Craig will be good, and Iffy, not sure. I mean, we, you know, he's been out for a little while. Nothing that we feel like is long term yet. It's continuing to take a little while. So I'm not too sure on that one. You know, I don't know when we will have him back or if he'll be back. You know, what that timeline is, but feel really good about Sewell and Craig both.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Broderick, he's got, looks like just a little hyperextension there. I don't think it's anything long-term, but enough to be sore for a little bit here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.